This is Starsborn, a fellow Toonami faithful. As I said in my last video, there's going to be an Spanish sport talking Toonami, starting with this one, called Toonami Discussion. This will come later in the video, so the first part will be Toonami news, so let's dive into the news for today. Like it has been as usual, Rain gets the first bite, and like my braces, it hurts to admit it, but it sucks. Bleach did disappointingly, as it almost fell for 1 million, probably a case of a bad filler episode. This in return hurts the premieres. Dead Man Wonderland barely outdid his week 1 performance, so it isn't too bad, but it needs work as well. What is the sore thumb that sticks out is Catherine Sins, which by all means did terrible. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Ghost in the Shell Second Kid managed to outperform the premieres, which is very bad. It's a shame considering that it was a great episode with a big fight, so you'd think it would receive at least a small boost. Not much change from last week aside from a slight increase in all the shows. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood stays around the same level as before in the first run, as does Cowboy Bebop. Ghost in the Shell Second Kid did better than last week, but still below week 1. So basically, the only show in the first run that didn't have a relatively weak performance was Dead Man Wonderland and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, I understand some fans will defend this week's rating due to the better reruns, and I understand that since it is true that it is a plus that the reruns are doing better, but we have to remember, the first run is the most important, and since the first run sucked, I can't imagine Jason DeMarco being pleased with that. On to other news, Jason DeMarco confirmed that a fan-made promo would be done during Toonami's run, and said it would come this week. It's nice to see that fans' input are taken into consideration, and it is proof that Toonami does take fans into consideration. Personally, I hope it's Catherine Sin, considering that it needs better ratings, and it is my personal favorite of the Toonami shows. And now that I've got the news out of the way, it's time to get into some discussions. One thing I want to cover today is Outlaw Stars and Toonami. Since Mnet has lost the rights to the series, many are speculating that Toonami would pick up the show and show it in uncut form. I for one think that the show will show at some point, due to being relatively inexpensive and lots of fan interest, but I am not seeing it this year. Here's the thing that many Toonami fans forget. Toonami was primarily about giving us great new shows to enjoy and a variety at it. It was not about nostalgia, especially not after 1999 or so, and it should not be a major focus with Toonami this time either. They will sooner pick up a new show than go after old shows that have had their chance on Toonami before. I don't see any older shows coming until at least early 2013, after a couple of new shows get added to the lineup. Also, Sketcher made a post on what show we could get this year. Basically, he said that we could be done this year in the worst case scenario, with the best one being we get 2 new shows this year that has 24 or 26 episodes. I think what will most likely happen is that we get Penny Slogging meets Garterbelt with us again another show, which I feel will be Inuyasha the Final Act, giving us a 13 episode show and a 26 episode show. 2013 is hard to say, but I think we'll see 1 or 2 classic shows this year, with those being either Gundam Wing and or Outlaw Stars. One new show I could see coming in would be Tiger and Bunny, but I'm not sure how much more we'll get. That's all for today. This has been Starsborn, a fellow Toonami faithful, and I wish for the best for Toonami, its fans, and everyone else. Take care, and I will see you later. Oh, and for those who are using Twitter for Toonami related stuff, make sure to check my last video. You may find it interesting.